is the Apparelist podcast, designed to bring you real-life conversation about high-level topics relevant to the decorated apparel community. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. And today I am chatting with a new friend and fellow apparel industry person, Jeff Bender. I met Jeff through our mutual connection, Aaron Montgomery, and once I heard his story, you guys, I just knew it was one we needed to share with the industry. Jeff is the founder of Line and Owl, a youth clothing company whose goal it is to make clothes that all kids feel good wearing. But I'm going to let Jeff get into the details of this because honestly, once you hear him talk about this, you will be as inspired as I am. So, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's an honor to be part of the broadcast.
Absolutely. No, well, like I kind of alluded to, I'm really excited about the Line and Owl story. So could you kind of share a little bit of background on the company and how it came to be?
Sure. So, like you said in the introduction, Lion and Owl is an all kids plus apparel company. We make clothes for 4 to 12-year-olds. And the company came about because I have two kids of my own who don't, they don't really, they're the typical standard boy girl clothes don't really fit who they are. And I started to notice that we were spending a lot of time in the opposite sides of the clothing stores. So we were buying boy clothes for my girls, and we weren't finding things that really fit them and made them feel comfortable. And then my youngest, is gender diverse. And so we have to be particularly aware of the clothes that she wears. But I was finding that there just weren't any options that made them feel the way that they wanted to feel. And so, with knowing no information whatsoever in this field, I jumped in and I thought, well, you know what? I think I can make really comfortable clothes that kids can wear and be brave in. And so we launched this August with our first 15 pieces.
That is unreal. Like, talk about taking a dream to reality. Lots of passion there. I can hear it. Can you talk to me a little bit about what makes clothing from Lion and Owl unique? Because I have some personal experiences with kids who need unique clothing. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we in the research, obviously, my kids, my youngest is very sensory aware. So whether it's clothes or food or smell, we struggle a lot with the way things are in her life. And I came to the conclusion that while shopping and trying to find clothes that fit them, there weren't any real kids companies out there who were really working at creating clothes that kids want to wear. So often it's mass produced, mass marketed, quick turnaround, cheaply made. But what happens with that is those manufacturers completely ignore the fact that most of our kids don't want tags. They want soft seams. They want clothes that fit and feel good to wear. Um, we have a lot of obviously anxiety and stress in our younger generations now. And so, looking at all of that data, I knew that creating these clothes had to be different. And so, what we did is every design that we have in our line, nothing is there for decorative purposes. Every single thing that is built into our apparel serves a purpose. And we are just getting started. I mean, we are now talking to more and more parents, more and more therapists and parent groups asking what do your kids need? And we are getting so many people coming to us saying, will you make gloves that fit fingers or that are easier to get fingers in? Will you do shirts that have fake buttons? And so we're looking at all kinds of places now where we can kind of serve these underserved communities. And so just a quick example of how we're different in our clothes is that first, we don't have tags. So nothing we make has a tag in it. So there's no more clipping tags out. All of our clothes are soft seamed. So the seams, we made particular certainty that we weren't going to feel any poly or any plastic in the sleeves or in the seams, in the pants and the joggers, tees, everything. So it lays flat on the skin and it doesn't rub. The second most thing, like the second biggest thing we heard from parents and kids, especially, is that they hated itchy necklines. And so we figured out a way to create a soft, rised, kind of risen seam around the neck that gives it a little bit of cushion. So it's like an unbelievably comfortable neckline. And then, of course, all of our fabrics are unique to us. We blended and dyed and treated all of them to make sure that they would be soft. Not only are they soft, but they get softer as you wash. We felt it was important for them to make sure that, like, when these kids wear these clothes, we almost want it to be like that blanket that they get when they're little and that they carry with them until they're an adult, right? And that's the idea. It's like we just want these clothes to be like a blanket. It's armor, it's protection, it's clothes that make them feel confident.
And I think that's so important for kids these days. As you said, there's a lot of stress and anxiety in our younger generations. Let's let their clothing not be a source of that for them, right? Um,
Yeah.
I will say this. I know that it can be kind of challenging to not only, start a clothing line, but to go through the whole manufacturing process, sourcing all of that stuff, and then add on top of that, what you guys are doing is very unique. As you said, it is not mass produced, it is not cheap, it is definitely has a lot of specific attention to detail and things like that. So, can you walk us through that process? What have been the big challenges for you as you have started and, gotten into line and L?
Yeah. Well, I would say the first part is finding the right fit. So there's two parts to this. The first part is because we are looking for a particular fit in our clothes. So we are adding privacy to our private parts, right? So that's really important for us is that we need we need the private parts to be private for these kids so that they're not self-conscious, walking out in public thinking that people are paying attention or looking. And so the fit had to be perfect. So we probably went through way more testing than most brands, apparel brands do, because we needed the fit to fit just right. Secondly, we were really frustrated in the sense that there was no standard size. So obviously women know this much better than men do because a woman will tell you a size 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 are all different sizes depending on what retailer you buy it from. And coming from outside of this industry, I looked at that like that is the stupidest thing. Like why would you ever do this, right? Like why is there not an industry standard? So I knew from the start I wanted to have an industry standard. And what we did was we created a true gender neutral size. So we label it as all kids plus sizing. So the idea here is that as we grow and other brands adopt this all kids plus sizing, we actually will create a true gender neutral size across the board so that no matter where you shop, as long as you see all kids plus, it could be Target, it could be Lion and Owl, it could be anywhere, but you know your sizes are going to be consistent. And the way we did it is we took data points from 1,000 7-year-old girls and 1,000 7-year-old boys all the way down the line. We used our computer, averaged them out, and created a true sizing so that when you go to Line and Out and shop, you are just buying the clothes. There is no boys section or girl section. Hey, my kid loves this and they wear this size, and it's going to be that size no matter where you go. So those were the two most important things that we had to get done, which to me completely highlight the brand as ultra unique. because there just aren't any other kids brands doing that kind of research and creating stuff that particularly, exact.
Yeah. Well, and kids grow at different rates. Kids change at different rates. Kids go through different periods of life at different times. I mean, it is such an interesting thing to deal with. So, yeah, and yes, by the way, as a woman, I totally understand the sizing and the
Yeah, the
measurements.
sizing. Yeah, it's just crazy to me that there's not a standard. It's just so weird. Uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's really cool, and challenging wise, it's just making sure that it all fit right, it all felt well. I'm lucky I have modeled at home, so my youngest was there every step of the way, and I always tell a funny story, and manufacturers will totally understand this, but we had gone through about 15 sessions of testing. So we get to the final one. This is the last one before we do production. And we had my daughter Kaden there to fit. And she had a hoodie on. And she kept rubbing the front of the hoodie with her hands. And I noticed and I asked, like, what are you doing with your hand? She's like, there aren't any pockets. And at that, we were like, oh my God, we were about to make hoodies without pockets. And she's like, yeah, you got to have pockets, right? So, like, at that point, we were like, okay, hold on, can we add pockets? And we did. And what's really neat is what came out of that is that if you look at our hoodie, it is not a pocket pouch, like, a kangaroo pouch. There are pockets, but they're completely streamlined in, and it just looks like a straight kind of cut. It's really, really cool looking. And had that not happened on that last day, we wouldn't have pockets in our hoodies. And that's one of the number one things that kids talk about is that they love that our pockets are super soft and that they can fit a whole iPhone. And the cool thing is they said that they don't connect. They actually like it that it goes all the way to the point and then it stops. So all those little things, I mean, we've all gone through it, manufacturing and designing and producing things like that. And so, yeah, just making sure that they all fit right and served its real purpose was the most challenging.
Mhm. Hey, I'd like to add, not only can you fit an entire iPhone in there, but you can fit collections of rocks, which is what my child likes to do with his pockets.
Yeah. Man, we found out that we've been doing some events, and what we found out the most popular thing that we offer at any event is rock painting. Oh my goodness. Boy, do kids love rocks,
Yes.
and they love to paint them. Like, they love it. It's so funny. But yeah, our pockets are definitely, and in the joggers as well. So, like, we definitely made, because that's another thing that people don't think about. It's funny, but when you're in it, you realize these things. But next time you look at your like Target brand jogger, the pockets are really, really small, like really small. And it isn't something you notice right away until you're in it, like we are, while we're and designing and like feeling it, and then seeing your kid using them. Uh, so yeah, that was one of those things where like, oh man, we need pockets, and we kept going bigger and bigger. Um, so yeah, rocks, phones, stickers, when you name it,
Right.
it'll
You
work.
name it, the kid collects it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So let me ask you this, Jeff. Kind of, final big question for you. What is your hope for Lion and Owl? What would you love to see come from this?
Oh man. Like, this has been quite an adventure for me coming from my background in hospitality, and then all of a sudden, spending 20 plus years in hospitality, and then all of a sudden finding myself in the apparel business. And I wrote a couple books ahead of time, also, and we started a nonprofit that helps like all these kid organizations. I want, I hope that it gets to the point where we can make real change, noticeable change, and whether that's through our brand or through other brands. that we just start concentrating a little bit more about putting kids in clothes that make them feel comfortable, confident, and brave, as opposed to how much money can we make off cheap, mass produced, horribly for the environment products. So I just hope that I can leave a mark, you know? I saw a wonderful quote the other day. I wouldn't change my kids for the world, but I'm changing the world for my kids.
Oh, that is a good one. Oh my goodness. I think I got goosebumps as you said that. So, Jeff, there's probably, hopefully, going to be some people that want to connect with you, want to learn more. Where can they find you?
So you can contact me. My email is jeff@lionandowlapparel.com. You can check us out at lionandowl.us or lionandowlapparel.com. We're switching our site over in 2025, but they'll still connect no matter what. And we're on all of our social channels like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. But yeah, please reach out. Like I said, we're brand new. Um, I launched in August, and we're looking for events and conferences, places like that. And so being new to the industry, I lean on professionals like you, Cassie, and everyone else to like, hey, there's this awesome event I think you should be at. So that kind of stuff. And yeah, it just we can control some things in the business, and while we can't control the amount of people who buy our product, we can control how big our network grows and how big our support system is. And so that's ultimately so important to me, is just to grow network and support.
Yeah, and of course, to everybody watching this and listening, please feel free to reach out to Apparelist and me as well, cgreen@napco.com. We're happy to make these connections and help everybody grow their network and, like you said, change the world. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.